medical student speaker, Alec Swinburne. Now, I have two biographical sketches for Alec. One of them that is a standard introduction, and one that he contributed to. The standard introduction is Alec is the president of the class of 2015. He was born in Rochester, New York, and graduated from Princeton with a BA in religion, and from the University of Chicago with a master's in anthropology. Prior to coming to Weill Cornell, Alec taught at an elementary school in Harlem and managed fundraising and grant writing for an educational nonprofit. After graduation, Alec will begin his residency in internal medicine at the University of California, Los Angeles. The modified bio. When asked how he'd like to be introduced, our next speaker asked that he begin. Alec was born in Rochester, New York, the youngest and favorite of 4 children. God loved his parents. Alec is the president of the class of 2015, and he has led this tremendous class with a combination of humor and hard work. Please welcome Alec Swinburne.
First, I just want to say, Igor, I really thought that the Harvard dean took the call to Dean Lyncher because he thought he was going to get a job offer. Anyway, thank you, Dean Lyncher, for two introductions. I feel overwhelmed with blessings here. There's another old French saying, hell is other people's graduation ceremonies. So to start, I just want to thank the friends and family that made the trip here to Carnegie Hall to show their support for all of us crossing the stage today. I know for the almost MDs in the room, today is as much a celebration of the last 4+ years as it is a moment for us to circle the wagons before intern year strikes. So thank you. Honestly, it's hard to believe that we are all about to be doctors, officially. Our entire lives leading up until now and moving forward are about to have a radical new context. At this very moment, if you listen closely, you can hear dozens of my classmates tapping away on their phones, updating their Tinder profiles. Medical student? Nay. Doctor. But what does it mean to become a doctor today? Statistically speaking, it means we're at least 1 year away from regaining the right to sleep. 4 to 7 years from not being totally terrified by our debt-to-income ratio. And maybe another 3 to 5 years before rampant professional burnout sets in. Of course, on a case-by-case basis, our lives may have better individual outcomes than this. But evidence-based thinking is all about likelihoods. And if Dr. Finkel has taught us anything, these are the grim likelihoods we face. It gets better. Luckily, the rest of this talk is not about evidence-based thinking. I mean, look around you. This is a room for magical thinking. Plus, we didn't dress up like this is the Hogwarts Christmas party for nothing. The truth of the matter is that I don't feel like more of a doctor today than I did yesterday, or the day before that. And I'll probably feel even less like a doctor in a month, when I finally start playing one in real life. But looking back on the past 4 years, there have been some moments. Every medical student sitting in front of me knows how it feels to walk into a hospital room for the first time as a 3rd-year student and go introduce yourself to a new patient. The two of you lock eyes, your eyes beaming with pride for having found the right patient. Their eyes filling with hope that finally someone is going to help them. But then you let it out. Hi, I'm your medical student. And all that hope, it just disappears. We all had our strategies to deal with this awkwardness. Some would grin and bear it. Others, like myself, tried to get around it. I quickly switched to more ambiguous greetings. Hi, I'm Alec. I'm with your medical team. And I started to jump right into patients' histories before they could think too hard about who I was or why I was there. Maybe I wasn't lying outright, but still, I know this may seem a little untoward. Personally, I thought of it in more charitable terms. For me, each patient interaction was like a medical Turing test. If I could convince them that I was their doctor without ever saying it, I mean, if I could take their history with such compassion, tap their fluid wave with such sensitivity, and complete their MRI questionnaire with such grace that they believed I was their doctor, well, as George Bush would say, mission accomplished. But wouldn't you know, it kind of worked. When one of my medicine residents gave me my final feedback, he said he was impressed that when our team, all real doctors except myself, when we went into a room together to see one of my patient would often still look to me for answers or for support. In my head, this meant that in some way I had succeeded. As best I could, I'd become my patient's doctor. And now today, when we were all about to have the official title of doctor, I don't think things should change much. Sure, we can say, hi, I'm your doctor, all day, and legally, but practically, saying we are someone's doctor is really just a promise of future goodwill. Just saying it is different than the act of being it. For every patient we see, we will still have to become their doctor the day we meet them and every day after that. Being a doctor is an ideal we pledge our aspiration to today when we take our Hippocratic oath. It's an ideal we've been trained to understand, to approximate, to strive for. I know that for many of us, we look around today in the audience and we see a number of role models we hold up as prototypes for our careers. People who are already the kind of doctors we want to be ourselves. People like Dr. Murray, Dr. Esquivel, Dr. Gordon-Elliott, Dr. Softy, Dr. Clavel. But these people are the role models we look to, not because they are finished products, but because they share this ideal. They're faithful to this ideal. They continually strive to become a more perfect doctor, to be sharper, to be kinder, to be more efficient in their care, more generous in their teaching, to be more human every day. Sadly, many of the scientific facts we've learned since MDC will be outdated even by the time we go into practice on our own. That's what science does. It stands corrected. But this ideal of doctoring that we've observed and shared and made our own, this ideal will last. Okay, I'm going to finish with a brief parable. A couple months ago, my father was walking his dog on a cold spring day in Rochester, New York. Cold enough that there was still black ice on the concrete that he couldn't see. In a moment, his feet went out, his body flew back, and he went down, in incredible pain, and with a freshly broken hip. He called my mother quickly, who called for help. But while he was there, down, surely in as much shock as pain, another man, a complete stranger, happened to be walking by. He saw that the concrete was very cold and very hard, so he sat with my father, and he rested my father's head upon his lap until the ambulance came. I can only imagine the comfort this gave my father, but I know the comfort that it gave to me. It was just a small gesture in the moment, but throughout the uncertainty that followed, through the general anesthesia, and the surgery, and the rehabilitation that continues, this gesture seemed to me a bit of reassurance that everything would be okay in the world, even if it wasn't. We, as doctors now, have the opportunity to make gestures like this on an almost daily basis. That's an incredible prospect. Thank you.